The thunderclap shattered the night like a gunshot, and Aaron's boots hit the porch before the echo died, his heart slamming against his ribs as he yanked open the screen door. There, sprawled across the kitchen floor amid shattered glass and spilled whiskey, was his father, eyes glassy, chest heaving in ragged bursts, a half-empty bottle clutched like a lifeline. "Boy," the old man rasped, voice cracking like dry leather, "don't you dare let this place go to hell. Not for me. Not for nobody." Aaron dropped to his knees, the words searing into him deeper than any brand, because he knew right then, the ranch was dying, and so was the man who'd built it with calloused hands and buried secrets. Aaron Whitaker stared at the faded brass knocker on the heavy oak door of the old Whitaker ranch foreman's cabin, the Montana wind whipping dust devils around his boots like accusatory ghosts. It was the kind of late summer evening where the sky hung low and bruised, promising a storm that would flood the gullies and turn the dirt roads to rivers of regret. He'd driven 3 hours from Billings, the city lights fading in his rear view like a bad dream he couldn't quite shake, all because of that damn email from the ranch accountant. Foreclosure notice imminent. Need help yesterday. Help. As if slapping a Band-Aid on a bullet wound ever fixed anything. He raised his fist to knock, then hesitated. Caleb Hayes. The name alone twisted something low in his gut, a mix of resentment and that other thing he refused to name. Caleb was the hotshot urban planner from Seattle, nephew to the late Elias Whitaker, Aaron's own father, who'd somehow wormed his way into the family will like a silver-tongued fox. Elias had doted on the kid during those rare visits, calling him the future, while Aaron mucked stalls and branded calves, invisible in his own home. Now, with Elias gone 6 months, buried under a simple pine cross on the hill, Caleb was here to save the ranch. Aaron spat into the dirt. Save it? More like carve it up for condos and craft breweries, turning generations of sweat into boutique bullshit. The door swung open before Aaron's knuckles could connect, and there he was, Caleb, all lean muscle and city polish, his dark hair tousled like he'd just rolled out of some artisanal bed, green eyes sharp as new barbed wire. He wore a flannel shirt untucked over jeans that hugged his hips just enough to make Aaron's jaw clench, and a smile that was equal parts charm and challenge. "Aaron, you made it. Come on in," storms rolling in fast. Aaron didn't move. "I ain't here for coffee and catch up." Hayes, accountant called. "Said you're poking around the books like you own the place." "You don't." Caleb's smile faltered, but only for a beat. He leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed, the posture casual but his gaze steady. "Elias left me a stake, Aaron. 20%. Enough to have a say. And right now, this ranch is bleeding money faster than a gutshot steer. I'm here to help." "Help!" Aaron barked a laugh that tasted like ash. "You, Mr. Urban Renewal? Last I checked, you plan strip malls, not save family legacies. Turn around. Go back to your coffee shops and rainbow flags. We don't need your kind of help." The air thickened between them, charged like the ozone before lightning. Caleb's eyes narrowed, a flicker of hurt flashing before steel set in. "My kind? What's that supposed to mean? Cowboy? The kind that cares enough to drive 3 hours in the pouring rain? Or the kind that's gay and doesn't hide it?" He stepped closer, voice dropping to a low, velvet edge. "Elias trusted me. Said you were too stubborn to see the writing on the wall. Guess he was right." Aaron's fists balled at his sides, the old rage bubbling up, the same that had kept him silent through high school whispers, through bar fights where fists flew faster than questions. He'd buried his father, buried the ache of loving men in secret glances at rodeos, buried it all under layers of denim and denial. And now this pretty boy from the coast, with his easy confidence and that damn cologne that smelled like pine and possibility, was digging it all up. "Get off my land," Aaron growled, turning on his heel. "Before I make you." But Caleb's hand shot out, gripping Aaron's arm. Not hard, but firm enough to stop him cold. Skin on skin, electric as a fence wire. "Wait. Just talk to me. For Elias. Please." Aaron yanked free, but the damage was done. That touch lingered like a brand, hot and unwelcome. He stormed to his truck, engine roaring to life as fat raindrops splattered the windshield. In the rear view, Caleb stood silhouetted in the doorway, unmoving, a lone figure against the gathering dark. Aaron punched the dash, cursing under his breath. Stubborn son of a bitch. But as he tore down the muddy drive, the truth gnawed at him. The ranch was dying. Droughts had scorched the pastures, feed prices skyrocketed, and the bank was circling like vultures. Elias's death had left Aaron drowning in debt and grief, too proud to ask for a lifeline. Until now. Back at the main house, Aaron poured a tumbler of bourbon, the amber liquid burning a path to his churning gut. The kitchen clock ticked like a heartbeat, each second a reminder of the auction sign looming in his nightmares. He'd grown up here, racing horses across the sagebrush with his dad, learning to rope and ride under endless blue skies. Elias had been a hard man, whiskey-soaked and quick with a belt, but he'd taught Aaron everything. How to mend a fence, how to spot a lie in a horse's eye, how to keep your heart locked tighter than a safe. "Men like us don't bend, son," he'd say, eyes distant, as if speaking to ghosts of his own. Aaron had nodded then, but now, alone with the shadows, he wondered what Elias had buried so deep. A knock shattered the silence. Sharp, insistent. Aaron froze, glass halfway to his lips. It was Caleb, soaked to the skin, flannel clinging to his chest like a second layer of sin. Water dripped from his hair, pooling on the welcome mat that hadn't welcomed anyone in months. "You left this in my truck," Caleb said, holding out Aaron's battered wallet, voice steady despite the shiver racking his frame. Aaron snatched it, fingers brushing Caleb's again. Deliberate this time? No, couldn't be. Should have let the rain have it. Now get gone. Caleb didn't budge. "Look, I get it. You hate me. Hate what I represent. But Elias didn't leave me that stake to spite you. He wanted us to work together. The ranch needs irrigation upgrades, ecotourism tie-ins, modern shit to keep it afloat. I've got the plans, the contacts. Let me help, Aaron. Or watch it all burn." The storm outside howled, wind rattling the windows like impatient fists. Aaron set the glass down. Too hard, bourbon sloshing over the rim. "You think you know us? This ain't Seattle, with your pride parades and open bars. Out here, folks like me, we survive. We don't advertise." Caleb's laugh was soft, bitter. "Survive? Is that what you call it? Hiding who you are until it eats you alive? I saw the way you looked at me back there, Aaron. Like I was a threat. Or a temptation." Heat flooded Aaron's face, rage and shame twisting like barbed wire in his chest. He lunged forward, crowding Caleb against the doorframe, close enough to feel the man's breath hitch. "You don't know shit about me," he snarled, but his voice cracked, betraying him. Caleb's eyes, those damn green eyes, held no fear, only a quiet hunger that mirrored his own buried want. "Then tell me," Caleb whispered, tilting his chin up, lips parted just enough to invite disaster. "Let me in." For a heartbeat, Aaron teetered on the edge. Lean in, claim what he'd denied for years, or shove it all away. The thunder decided for him, a bolt cracking so close it shook the house. Lights flickered, then died, plunging them into darkness lit only by the storm's erratic flashes. Caleb's hand found Aaron's in the shadows, warm and steady. "See? Even the sky's conspiring." Aaron pulled away, fumbling for a flashlight on the counter. "Storm knocked the power. Happens. You should go, roads'll flood. I'm not leaving you alone in this." Caleb's tone brooked no argument, and damn if it didn't stir something protective in Aaron, unwanted and fierce. They spent the night in uneasy truce, Aaron stoking the fireplace while Caleb rummaged for candles, their movements brushing too close in the cramped space. Conversations skirted the edges, Elias's final days, the ranch's glory years, avoiding the chasm between them. But as the fire crackled, casting golden flickers on Caleb's face, Aaron caught himself staring, tracing the curve of his jaw, the way his lashes shadowed his cheeks. "Stop it," he thought, but the pull was magnetic, a riptide dragging him under. By dawn, the rain eased to a drizzle, and Caleb rose, stretching with a yawn that exposed a strip of toned abdomen. "Truce? I stay a week. Prove I can help. If not, I'm gone." Aaron rubbed his stubbled chin, exhaustion warring with intrigue. "1 week. But you pull your weight, no city shortcuts." Caleb grinned, victorious. "Deal. Now, show me the ropes, cowboy." As they stepped into the misty morning, Aaron felt the shift, a crack in his armor, small but irrevocable. The ranch stretched before them, vast and unforgiving, but for the first time since Elias's death, it didn't feel quite so empty. Little did he know, the real storm was just beginning. The first light of day painted the valleys in hues of gold and rust, the kind of Montana sunrise that made a man believe in second chances, even if his heart was still nursing a grudge. Aaron led the way on horseback, his gelding buck cutting through the dew-kissed grass with the ease of old habit, while Caleb followed on a borrowed mare named Daisy, skittish, like her rider, who gripped the reins as if they were a lifeline. "Easy there," Aaron called over his shoulder, voice gruff but laced with amusement he couldn't quite suppress. "She senses fear. Loosen up, or she'll buck you into next week." Caleb shot him a wry glance, his cheeks flushed from the chill or the embarrassment. Aaron wasn't sure which. "Says the guy who grew up with saddles for diapers. Give me a break. Last time I rode anything, it was a subway in Seattle." Aaron snorted, pulling Buck to a halt at the edge of the eastern pasture. Below them, the land rolled out like a rumpled quilt, dotted with black Angus cattle grazing lazily, oblivious to the invisible noose tightening around their home. This is prime grazing used to be. Now it's Dust Bowl Central. Drought hit hard last summer. Wells are dry as bone. Caleb dismounted with a wince, rubbing his thighs as if they'd betrayed him. He pulled a tablet from his saddlebag, sleek, out of place amid the leather and latigo, and tapped the screen, pulling up satellite maps overlaid with hydrological data. See here? Aquifers shifted. We drill offset, tie in solar pumps. Cost-effective, eco-friendly. Tourists eat that shit up. Sustainable ranch stays. Aaron leaned over, close enough to catch that pine scent again, his eyes scanning the glowing lines. It wasn't half bad, practical even. But admitting that felt like surrender. Fancy graphs don't mend fences or birth calves at midnight. You ever gotten your hands dirty? Haze. The challenge hung between them, and Caleb met it head-on, tucking the tablet away. Dirtier than you think. Grew up in foster homes, bouncing between Seattle dives. Learned to fix what's broken with duct tape and hope. Elias saw that in me. During those summers he dragged me out here. Said I reminded him of you. Tough exterior, soft underbelly. Aaron's gut twisted at the comparison. A pang of something almost like kinship. Elias had never dragged him anywhere but to work. But the old man's letters to Caleb, ones Aaron found after the funeral, spoke of pride, of legacy. He wrote you a lot, Aaron muttered, mounting up again. Never said much to me. Caleb swung back into the saddle, gritting his teeth against the jolt. He was proud of you, Aaron. Too proud to say it. Thought you'd inherited his fire, the kind that burns everything if not careful. They rode in silence after that, the rhythm of hooves a steady drumbeat underscoring the unspoken. By midday, they'd checked the herd, branded a few strays, and Aaron had to admit grudgingly that Caleb held his own. Sweat-soaked and dirt-streaked, he'd wrestled a calf with surprising grit, his laugh ringing out when it headbutt him square in the chest. Little bastards got your temper, Caleb had quipped, and Aaron had chuckled despite himself, the sound foreign in his throat. Lunch was beans and cornbread on the porch of the bunkhouse, the kind of meal that stuck to ribs and soles. Caleb wolfed it down, then leaned back, boots propped on the rail. Tell me about him. Elias. The real stories, not the eulogy shit. Aaron poked at the fire in the barrel grill, sparks dancing like fireflies. Stubborn as a mule. Built this place from nothing after Nam. Lost buddies. Came home hollow. Drank to fill it, but never let it win. Taught me to ride before I walked, rope before I read. But he had secrets. Nights he'd stare at the stars like they owed him answers. Caleb nodded, gazed distant. Mine too. Foster dad number 3 big guy, ex-Marine. Beat the questions out of me when I came out at 15. Ain't no room for that weakness here, he'd say. Ran away at 16. Elias found me hitchhiking outside Bozeman. Gave me a job mucking stalls. First man who didn't look at me like broken glass. The vulnerability in Caleb's voice cracked something in Aaron, a fissure widening with each shared breath. He wanted to ask, what makes a man like you tick? What ghosts chase you into the night? But instead, he stood abruptly. Storm's comin' back. Best head in. That night, as thunder rumbled like distant artillery, Aaron lay awake in his creaking bed, the house groaning under the onslaught. Footsteps padded down the hall. Caleb, seeking shelter from the guest room's leaky roof. Mind if I crash here? He asked from the doorway, towel drying his hair, wearing nothing but low-slung sweats that left little to the imagination. Leaks like a sieve. Aaron's mouth went dry, pulse thundering louder than the sky. Floor's fine, he managed, gesturing to the rug. But Caleb eyed the empty side of the bed, eyebrow arched. Or we could share. The king, Cowboy. Plenty of room for two grown men who don't bite. The air hummed with tension, every nerve alight. Aaron should have said no, should have built that wall higher. But the loneliness was a beast, clawing from the inside, and Caleb's presence was a bomb he hadn't known he craved. Fine, he grunted, scooting over. But hands off. Caleb slid under the covers, the mattress dipping, their shoulders brushing in the dark. Scout's honor. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with images. Elias's ghost nodding approval. A young Aaron stealing glances at the rodeo clown with the easy grin. Caleb's hand on his arm that first night warm, insistent. He woke to dawn's gray light. Caleb's arm slung across his chest, breath warm against his neck. Panic surged, but so did desire, a low burn that pooled in his belly. Gently, Aaron extricated himself, heart pounding as he fled to the kitchen. Coffee brewed, black as sin, and Caleb wandered in, rumpled and radiant. Morning. Sleep okay? Yeah. We got work. Fence lines down by the creek. Flood took it out. They labored side by side that day, hammers swinging in sync, sweat carving rivers down their backs. Caleb's shirt came off first, tossed aside with a curse at the heat, revealing ink, a sleeve of tattoos, a phoenix rising from Seattle skyline ashes, intertwined with ranch barbed wire. Story for another time, he said when Aaron's gaze lingered. But the cowboy's fingers itched to trace the lines, to learn the map of his scars. By evening, the fence stood strong, a testament to their fragile alliance. They celebrated with beers on the porch, the sunset bleeding red across the peaks. You're not half bad at this, Aaron admitted, clinking bottles. Caleb smirked. High praise. Careful, Whitaker. I might stick around. The words hung, heavy with promise. Aaron looked away, toward the horizon where storm clouds still brooded. Don't get ideas. Week's up tomorrow. But as night fell, and they retreated inside, the pull grew undeniable. In the lamplight, Caleb's eyes met his across the dinner table, chicken fried steak and greens, Elias's recipe, and something shifted. Aaron, Caleb said softly, you don't have to do this alone. The fork paused midway to Aaron's mouth. Do what? Everything. The ranch. The hiding. Me. Heart in his throat. Aaron stood, chair scraping like a warning. He crossed the room in 3 strides, cupping Caleb's face, rough palms on smooth skin, and kissed him. It was fire and famine, years of denial pouring out in bruising need. Caleb gasped into it, hands fisting Aaron's shirt, pulling him closer. They stumbled to the couch, clothes shedding like old skins, bodies colliding in a tangle of limbs and whispered wants. It was messy, urgent, teeth on collarbones, nails raking backs, the taste of salt and surrender. Aaron lost himself in Caleb's moans, the way he arched like a bowstring, green eyes locked on his with fierce trust. Yes, Caleb breathed. God. Yes. And Aaron gave, took, broke open under the weight of it all. After, tangled in sheets on the living room floor, breaths sinking in the quiet, Caleb traced lazy circles on Aaron's chest. That wasn't nothing, Aaron swallowed, vulnerability crashing like waves. Can't be. Folks around here. They'd run us out. And the ranch. Screw the ranch for a minute. What about us? The word terrified and thrilled. Aaron pulled him close, burying his face in Caleb's hair. Don't know yet. But stay. Past the week. Caleb smiled against his skin. Thought you'd never ask. For 3 days, they stole moments. Dawn rides turning to heated presses against barn walls. Midnight confessions under star-pricked skies. Aaron opened like a rusted gate, sharing Elias's unpublished letters. The ache of unspoken love for a high school sweetheart who'd fled to California. Caleb reciprocated the Foster beatings, the first fumbling kiss in a Seattle alley, Elias's quiet acceptance that had saved him. But paradise cracked on the 4th day. Tommy Hargrove, Aaron's old rodeo buddy and nearest neighbor, rolled up in his F-150, dust clouding the drive. Heard you got help, Tommy drawled, eyeing Caleb with a squint as they emerged from the barn. Shirts askew. City boy. Huh? Elias's pet project. Aaron stiffened, arm brushing Caleb's protectively. Caleb Hayes. He's family. Here to consult. Tommy's laugh was a bark. Consult? On what? Glitter fences? Look, Aaron. Bank's sending an assessor Monday. If you don't shape up, it's over. And word's out, folks talking about you two getting cozy. Don't need that stink on a clean operation. The words landed like punches, and Aaron's face burned. Caleb went still beside him, hurt flickering before he masked it. We're just working, Tommy. Nothing more. Tommy spat tobacco juice, climbing back in his truck. Better be. Or you'll lose more than the land. Buddy. As the taillights faded, Caleb turned to Aaron, voice tight. What the hell was that? Nothing. Small-town bullshit. But Aaron's avoidance screamed louder than denial. Caleb's eyes hardened. Bullshit? You just let him imply we're... What? A scandal? After everything. I protected you. Aaron snapped. Regret instant. Protected? Or hid? Caleb's voice broke. I thought we were past this. He stormed to his truck, slamming the door, leaving Aaron in the dust, alone with the echo of his cowardice. The days blurred into a tense standoff after Tommy's visit, the ranch a powder keg of unspoken accusations and lingering touches that neither dared pursue. Aaron threw himself into work, repairing irrigation ditches until his hands blistered, riding the fence lines at dusk like a ghost haunting his own life. Caleb kept to the cabin, buried in spreadsheets and calls to investors, his laughter silenced, replaced by the click of laptop keys that sounded like accusations in the quiet nights. Meals were solitary affairs. Aaron picking at jerky in the saddle, Caleb nuking ramen under the harsh kitchen fluorescence. The air between them crackled, not with passion now, but with the storm of things unsaid. Aaron hated it, the gnawing void where Caleb's easy banter had been. He missed the man's warmth in his bed, the way his fingers mapped constellations on Aaron's skin, drawing out secrets like venom from a wound. But fear was a cruel master, whispering reminders of small-town exile, the cousin who'd hanged himself after coming out, the preacher's sermons thundering damnation from pulpits built on hypocrisy. Elias's voice echoed too. Men like us don't bend. Aaron clung to it like a rosary, even as it choked him. On the 5th night, lightning forked the sky again, illuminating the main house like a judgment. Aaron found Caleb on the porch, nursing a beer, rain misting his shoulders. Can't sleep, Aaron ventured, hovering in the doorway like a supplicant. Caleb didn't look up. Storms remind me of running. You? Same. Aaron eased onto the step beside him, close but not touching. Look, about Tommy. I fucked up. Shouldn't have let him get in my head. Caleb's sigh was a gust. Weary. It's not just him, Aaron. It's you. 1 minute we're. And the next, you're shoving me back in the closet. I can't do half measures. Not after all the times I've lost everything for being whole. The honesty sliced deep, and Aaron's throat tightened. I know. I'm scared. All right? Ranch is all I got left of Dad. If I lose it. And you. Caleb turned then. I stormy as the horizon. You think hiding saves anything? Elias didn't. He knew about me. Hell, he knew about you too. Didn't he? Those letters? He wrote me about your wanderin' eye at the county fair. Said it was time you found someone brave enough to match it. Shock rooted Aaron. He knew, guessed. Said he'd waited too long to live his own truth. Don't make his mistake. The words unlocked something, a floodgate cracking. Aaron reached out, tentative, cupping Caleb's jaw. I don't want to. Stay. Fight with me for the ranch. For this. Their kiss was slow, apologetic, a ceiling of fractures. It led them inside, to the bedroom this time, where they moved with deliberate tenderness, exploring as if memorizing for war. Caleb's mouth on his throat, Aaron's hands in his hair, whispers of I'm sorry and I need you weaving through gasps. It was reclamation, bodies affirming what words fumbled. Morning brought fragile peace. They tackled the assessor prep together. Caleb's plans polished, Aaron's local knowledge grounding them. Calls to the bank yielded cautious optimism. A loan extension if they hit eco-certification benchmarks. Hope flickered, tentative as a match in wind. But betrayal brewed in shadows. Tommy, nursing grudges and cheap whiskey, couldn't let it lie. Over beers at the Rusty Spur Saloon, he spilled to Jed Harlan, the banker's right hand, a man with a ledger colder than January frost. Whitaker's gone soft, Tommy slurred, voice carrying over the jukebox's twang. Shacking up with that city queer. Elias roll in his grave. Ranch'll be a rainbow retreat, for long. Jed's eyes gleamed. Opportunistic. That's so? Banks got eyes on Whitaker. Any irregularities could speed things up. By Monday, the assessor arrived. Not the neutral suit Aaron expected, but Jed himself, clipboard in hand, smirk sharp as a spur. He toured with predatory leisure, nodding at Caleb's irrigation mock-ups but lingering on the books, flipping pages with feigned interest. Interestin', he drawled at lunch, as they ate sandwiches in the shade of the old oak. Heard rumors. You too. Close? Elias was traditional. Might not sit right with investors. Aaron's fork stilled, blood roaring in his ears. Caleb tensed beside him, but Aaron forced calm. We're business partners. That's all. Jed chuckled, low and mean. Partners. Right. Well, books look creative. Some discrepancies, feed costs off by thousands. Sloppy, Whitaker. Or shady. It was a lie, blatant as a branded hide, but Jed's tone planted seeds of doubt. Aaron's stomach plummeted. He'd trusted Tommy with the books last season, during his grief fog. Had the bastard skimmed? or worse, cooked them to sabotage? Caleb jumped in, voice steady. Those are reconciled. Check the receipts. I've cross-verified. Jed waved it off. I'll take it under advisement. But reputation matters, boys. And yours? Murky. He left with a tip of his hat, the crunch of gravel a dirge. Aaron rounded on Caleb in the barn, fury misplaced but blinding. What the hell did you do? Those numbers. Did you fudge em for your fancy plans? Caleb recoiled, face paling. What? No, I audited everything. Tommy handled last year. He's the one who. Tommy's a friend. Been since we were kids. Aaron's voice cracked, betrayal's bitter taste flooding. You come in here, stirring shit, and now the bank's got hooks in deeper. Hurt flashed in Caleb's eyes, raw as a fresh cut. You're blaming me? After I poured my savings into this? I trusted you, Aaron. Thought we were building something real. We were. Aaron's chest heaved, regret warring with panic. But if it's fraud, I lose everything. You should go. Before it drags you under. Caleb's laugh was hollow, tears glinting unshed. Go? So you can play martyr alone? Fine. But this isn't protection. It's poison. He grabbed his duffel from the cabin, movements jerky, and peeled out in a spray of mud, taillights vanishing like a severed tie. Alone, Aaron sank against the corral fence, the betrayal sinking claws deep. Tommy, his brother in all but blood, had sold him out, whispering lies to bury the ranch and his secrets. And Aaron had repaid Caleb's faith with suspicion, shoving away the one man who'd seen him whole. The sky darkened, mirroring the void inside, as he realized the real foreclosure wasn't on the land. It was on his heart. That night, rain lashed the windows like judgment, and Aaron drove to the spur, fury a live wire. Tommy was there, 3 sheets to the wind, laughing with Jed over pool. You son of a bitch, Aaron roared, slamming the door wide. The bar fell silent, eyes swiveling like vultures. Tommy straightened, smirk faltering. Easy, Air. Just shootin' the shit. Shootin' lies. You mean? The books you cooked em. To what? Save your own ass from debts? Or, 'cause you can't stomach me happy? Tommy's face twisted, ugly with booze and bigotry. Happy? With that fag? Elias, disown you. I did it for the ranch, for real men. The punch landed square, Tommy crumpling to the floor amid shattered cues. Fists flew then, bar stools cracking, blood slicking knuckles until Jed pulled Aaron off, sheriff's cruiser lights flashing blue through the haze. Cool it, Whitaker. Or you're done. Aaron spat blood, vision blurring. Tell the bank. This fraud. Tommy's. Not mine. But as cuffs clicked cold on his wrists, the fight drained out. Dragged to the cruiser, he caught Jed's whisper to the deputy. Keep him overnight. Gives us time to finalize. Betrayal's full weight crashed down. Not just Tommy, the bank, the town, his own damn fears. And Caleb, gone because Aaron couldn't fight clean. In the cell's dim bulb, he curled on the bunk, Elias's words mocking, don't bend. Too late. He'd shattered. Dawn crept through the barred window like a thief, gray and unforgiving, as Aaron paced the holding cell, each step echoing his fractured resolve. The sheriff's station smelled of stale coffee and regret, a far cry from the ranch's earthy tang. His knuckles throbbed, split from the brawl, But the real ache was deeper, a hollow where Caleb's voice should have been, mocking his pride or soothing his rage. He'd called the house line at first light. Voicemail. Caleb's easy drawl a knife twist. Leave a message, unless it's worth the airtime. Cal, Aaron rasped into the receiver. Voice gravel from sleeplessness. I fucked up. Bad. Tommy. He sold us out. Banks circling. Come back. Please. I need you. Click. The line went dead, and so did a piece of him. By noon, bail was posted, anonymously. The deputy grunted, and Aaron emerged blinking into sunlight that felt accusatory. No sign of Caleb, but a mud-spattered truck idled at the curb. Old Man Hargroves, Tommy's dad, face etched with the lines of a lifetime's hard choices. Get in, he said. No warmth, just weariness. They drove in silence, the Absarika peaks looming like silent judges. Finally, Hargrove cleared his throat. Boy's a fool. Tommy. Always was after his ma died. Took to the bottle like religion. Skimmed the feed fund last winter. Covered it with your numbers. When I heard. Confronted him. He confessed. Bank knows now. Jed's out on his ass by week's end. Aaron's grip tightened on the door handle. Why tell me? 'Cause Elias saved this place once. Loaned us seed money when we were down. Said you were the salt of the earth, salty. But worth it. Hargrove glanced over. I shrewd. And 'cause that city kid of yours? Called me at dawn. Wired the bail. Said to tell you. He's not done fighting. But you gotta meet him halfway. Hope flickered. Fragile as a candle in gale. Aaron nodded. Throat tight. I will. The ranch greeted him like a prodigal's return. Gates creaking welcome. Cattle lowing in the distance. But the cabin was empty. Caleb's truck gone. A single note taped to the door. Fix the books with Hargrove's proof. I'm in Billings. Meeting investors. Don't call. Show me. Aaron crumpled it, then smoothed it out, tucking it into his pocket like a talisman. He spent the afternoon in the office, poring over ledgers with a forensic eye, piecing together Tommy's embezzlement, falsified invoices, diverted checks totaling 15 grand. Rage simmered, but so did clarity. This wasn't just theft. It was sabotage, rooted in fear of Aaron's change. Tommy had seen the spark between him and Caleb, the softening in Aaron's edges, and struck to save him from it. By dusk, the evidence packet was sealed, ready for the sheriff's follow-up. Night fell heavy, stars pricking the velvet sky as Aaron saddled Buck, riding out to the ridge where Elias's grave overlooked the spread. The old man's cross gleamed ghostly, wildflowers nodding at its base. Aaron dismounted, sinking to his haunches. You knew, didn't you, about me? And you let me think I was alone. Wind whispered through the pines. Or maybe it was Elias. Never alone, son. Just scared. Tears came then, hot and unbidden, soaking the earth. For the father who'd loved in silences. For the lover he'd wounded. For the boy he'd been, caged by convention. I'm done hiding, Aaron vowed to the dark. For you. For us. The next morning, he drove to Billings. The city's sprawl a jarring contrast to ranch rhythms, horns blaring, sidewalks thrumming with purpose. Caleb's hotel was downtown, sleek glass tower piercing the clouds. Aaron loitered in the lobby, Stetson low, feeling like an intruder in his own skin. When Caleb emerged from the elevator, suit sharp, briefcase in hand, their eyes locked across the marble expanse. Caleb froze, then approached, expression guarded. "You're here." "Had to be." Aaron pulled the envelope from his jacket. "Proof." "Tommy's done. Bank's backing off Jed too." "Thanks to you." Caleb took it, flipping through, but his gaze lingered on Aaron. "Investor meetings in an hour. Eco grant for the irrigation. Could save the ranch outright. Then go. Nail it." Aaron shifted, boots scuffing the floor. "But after. Can we talk? For real? A beat?" Then Caleb nodded, a ghost of a smile. "Lobby bar." 8. The wait was agony, nursing a soda water, replaying every misstep. 8 came, and Caleb slid into the booth. Tie loosened, victory in his eyes. "They're in. $500,000. Contingent on implementation." Aaron exhaled, relief crashing. "You're a miracle." "Hayes." "Whitaker." Caleb's hand found his across the table, thumb stroking knuckles. "Why'd you come?" "To say I'm sorry. For doubting. For letting fear call the shots." Aaron leaned in, voice low. "And to ask. Will you come home? To the ranch. To me. No more halfway." Caleb's eyes shimmered, searching. "You mean it? Out there? With the Tommies and Jeds? You're ready to own us?" Aaron squeezed his hand, firm. "Yeah. I am. Elias taught me to fight for what's mine." "You are." The kiss that followed was public, unapologetic, lips meeting soft in the bar's warm glow, a few heads turning but Aaron not giving a damn. It tasted of absolution, of futures reclaimed. They drove back under starlight, hands linked over the console, the ranch welcoming with open arms. That night, in Aaron's bed, they made love slow and deep, bodies a language of amends, kisses like promises, touches like oaths. "I love you," Caleb murmured against his skin, the words a balm. "Love you too," Aaron whispered back, the confession freeing as flight. But climax loomed, unbidden. 2 days later, a freak norther blew in, winds howling at 60, skies black as pitch. Aaron was in the north pasture, reinforcing a sagging windbreak, when the squall hit, hail like buckshot, visibility 0. Buck reared, spooked, and Aaron's boot caught in the stirrup, horse bolting, dragging him through barbed wire and mud, whirled a blur of pain and thunder. He came to in the slurry, leg torn open, ribs cracked, rain mixing with blood. Buck was gone, vanished into the whiteout. Phone dead, storm raging. Aaron crawled toward the treeline, vision tunneling. Not like this, he thought, Caleb's face flashing, green eyes, that damn smile. Not without fighting. Hoofbeats cut the gale. Caleb, on Daisy, face ashen as he dismounted, sliding through the muck. Aaron, God, hold on. He tore his shirt for a tourniquet, binding the gash, hands steady despite the tremor. How'd you? Aaron gasped, pain lancing. Saw the clouds. Knew you were out. Caleb's voice broke. Can't lose you, idiot. Not now. He half-carried, half-dragged Aaron to the horse, mounting with him cradled like fragile cargo. The ride back was hell, wind whipping, hail bruising, but Caleb urged Daisy on, murmuring encouragements, "We got this. Together." At the house, he got Aaron inside, radioing the doc through static. As they waited, fire roaring, Caleb cleaned wounds with gentle hands, tears carving tracks down his cheeks. "You scared the shit out of me." Aaron cupped his face, thumb brushing a tear. "Meant what I said. You're mine. Ranch, life, all of it." Caleb leaned in, forehead to forehead. "Then live, cowboy. For us." The doctor came, stitched and splinted, pronouncing cracked ribs and a deep laceration but no permanent damage. "Lucky," he said, packing up. "Your boy here saved your hide." As the door shut, Caleb crawled into bed beside Aaron, careful of the bandages. "No more solo heroics. Promise." Aaron pulled him close, heart full. The storm outside raged on, but inside, they were the calm, two souls forged in fire, unbreakable. Weeks healed the body, but the soul's mending was a quieter art, painted in shared silences and tentative plans. Aaron's leg mended crooked, a limp that spoke of survival, but Caleb never let it define him. Instead, he adapted, rigging grab bars in the barn, teasing Aaron about his sexy swagger. The ranch bloomed under their hands, irrigation pipes snaking silver through pastures, solar panels glinting like promises on the hill. The eco-grant flowed. Investors trickled in for tours, wide-eyed at the blend of old-world grit and green innovation. Word spread, not of scandal, but of resurrection. Whitaker Ranch, reborn. Tommy faced justice quietly, a plea deal for restitution, community service on the very land he'd tried to steal. Aaron visited him once, in the county lockup. No punches this time, just truth. "You thought you were saving me?" Aaron said through the plexiglass, voice even. "But hate's the real thief. Get help, Tom." "For you." Tommy nodded, eyes hollow. "Sorry, Air. Feared losing you to him." "Love ain't loss," Aaron replied. "It's gain." He walked out lighter, chains of old loyalties shed. The town shifted slow, like tectonic plates, whispers fading to nods at the feed store, Jed's replacement offering a fair shake. Hargrove Sr. became an unlikely ally, co-signing equipment loans with gruff approval. "Kid's good for you. Don't fuck it up." Caleb thrived, his urban edge softening into ranch rhythm. Mornings roping calves, evenings sketching expansion blueprints over wine. But shadows lingered. A call from Seattle, an ex sniffing around old wounds. "Just closure," Caleb assured, but Aaron saw the flinch, the way he'd pace at night. One crisp October evening, as leaves turned the valleys to flame, Aaron led Caleb blindfolded up the ridge, to Elias's grave, now ringed with solar lanterns glowing soft. A blanket spread, picnic basket unpacked, fried chicken, cornbread, a bottle of Elias's favorite bourbon. "What's all this?" Caleb asked, eyes wide as the cloth slipped free. "Anniversary," Aaron said, pulling him down. "Month since you saved my ass. And since I almost lost it all." They ate under stars, laughter weaving with stories, Elias's wild youth, Caleb's foster escapades. Then Aaron grew serious, drawing a small box from his pocket. Not velvet, but worn leather, like the ranch itself. Inside, 2 silver bands, etched with barbed wire and phoenix feathers intertwined. Caleb's breath hitched. "Aaron, marry me," Aaron said, voice rough with emotion. Not for show. Not for the town. For us. Build this life. Kids may be adopted. Whatever. Old age on this porch. Griping about calves. Tears spilled. Joyful. Yes. God. Yes. Their kiss sealed it. Rings sliding on with trembling hands. The night wrapping them in benediction. But humanism's grace lay in the fractures. Not perfection. Winter brought trials, a harsh freeze cracking pipes. A heifer lost in snowblind birth. Aaron and Caleb fought through. Side by side. Exhaustion forging deeper bonds. One blizzard night. Holed up in the calving barn. Lamp flickering as wind howled. Caleb confessed, scared sometimes, that I'm not enough, that the city and meal drag you down. Aaron pulled him into the hay, coats shed for warmth. You're everything. The best part of me. Their lovemaking was fierce, affirming bodies slick with sweat and storm, cries lost to the gale. Afterward, curled together, Aaron whispered, we bend, Cal. But we don't break. Spring unfurled green and generous. The Rancha Testament. Solar-powered guest cabins booked solid. Cattle herd doubled. A community garden for town kids teaching soil and soul. Aaron's limp became legend. Caleb's plans a model for neighboring spreads. They married quiet. Under the oak, Hargrove officiating. A handful of allies witnessing vows exchanged in sunlight. In sickness, storm, and small-town stares. I choose you. Elias's spirit lingered, approving in wildflower blooms. Starlit nods. The old man had bent once. Two, loving a rodeo hand in 70s shadows, lost to AIDS before names were kind. His letters, now shared openly, wove their story into the family lore. Love as legacy, not shame. Years layered on, silver threading their hair. But the fire endured, dawn coffees on the porch. Hands linked over ledgers. Nights where touches spoke volumes. They adopted a boy, Jamie, a wiry foster kid with Caleb's grin and Aaron's grit, teaching him to ride and dream without cages. On a dusk much like their first storm, Aaron and Caleb stood on the ridge, Jamie racing horses below. We made it, Caleb murmured, head on Aaron's shoulder. Aaron kissed his temple. More than that. We lived it. The sun dipped, painting the world gold, a canvas of redemption, where refusal had yielded to embrace, betrayal to trust, fear to fierce love. The ranch endured, not just land, but heartbeat, two men, woven whole, against whatever winds came next. In the end, it wasn't triumph or tragedy, but humanity's quiet miracle, choosing each other, every damn day, under America's wide, unforgiving sky.